Hey guys, today we're going to be doing commentary on a couple different fights, just talking about what's going on in these fights. A little bit different from my usual montages, but I figured it'd be fun and give you guys some insight. I had some good fights for it, so let's get into it. Starting off, I go into this 1v3 in this camp against a Spellbreaker, Chronomancer, and a Catalyst. I'm trying to target the Spellbreaker first, because I think he's going to be the squishiest of the three. I get a good CC on him, able to get some good damage down, but I'm starting to get a lot of condies built up on me from that relic, the Ceres relic. So I use my heal to dump some of the condies, Greatsword 5 away, create some space. My Magebane pulls the Chrono, but he pulls back into the camp, and the Spellbreaker comes after me. Arcane Slice into his full counter here, but I'm able to get a full counter off back on him in return. Then I pull him towards me with the Magebane and get some decent cleaving damage done on him with my dagger shield here. Get a good CC, followed up with a good Greatsword 2. Evade his full counter, use my full counter against the Catalyst's hammer burst there, and I start kiting away as all three are heading up towards me. I kind of decided to play around on this little edge here. It's kind of fun to kite around here. The Spellbreaker actually falls off since he's the lowest HP. I decided to follow him, kind of play right into that full counter there, but I'm able to get a full counter off on him in return, and then I evade with Bull's Charge the hammer fire attacks from the Catalyst. The Chronomancer has also come down now, so I decided to kite away again using Greatsword 5. Get my heal off safely. I get interrupted, but I'm able to evade his Greatsword 5 with Greatsword 3. And then we both kind of full counter here and go into like an F1 there, so I get block off. I try to get away a little bit here, get pulled by his Magebane tether, but I'm able to evade the shatters from the Chronomancer. Use my Greatsword 5 to create a little more space. And at this point, the Spellbreaker and the Catalyst are the only two that continue following me. The Chronomancer just kind of gives up. So I decide I think I can take him on. The Spellbreaker OCs mounts up, so I go after the Catalyst first. Get off some okay damage on him. I try to go in for a CC and burst, but he misforms there. So I pull him with the Magebane through misform and get off a full counter against the warrior, able to CC them both and get off another decent Greatsword 2. Try to follow it up on the Catalyst here, but I get interrupted. But I'm able to full counter into a dagger F1, go into my shield block. The Catalyst is very low at this point, so I'm going to try to get him here after I heal. Go in for a CC, swap to Greatsword Arcane Slice, and he's down. I pop my Elite for a little extra might and for the Endure Pain, just so I can cleave out the down without worrying about any damage. He misforms away, so I go over to him. I'm not going to try to stomp him here. I could, but I want to try to pressure the Spellbreaker too, because he's going to be able to CC me if I try stomping. I'm able to get off some good damage on him, CCing him on the down, and the down becomes dead from cleaving. Here I use my heal, and I feel pretty confident in this fight at this point. I get a good F1 on the Spellbreaker, dodge his Bull's Charge, and I'm able to pull him with the Magebane into a follow-up CC, swap to Greatsword, Arcane Slice, and he's down as well. This next fight here, starting off, I'm going after this Kiwi Willbender. He's kind of run away from me. He just lost at 1v1 previously right before this, so he's kind of kiting away. There's another red we see come up here from spawn, and another one coming up from the northwest. So they're a little confident here to be able to get me. This Berserker, I believe, he had just been on power, but he swapped to Condi after I killed his power. I kind of BM'd them a little bit outside my tower here because they'd both been kind of salty to me. So I'm hopping into my tower here just to wait for some cooldowns before I go to this 3v1. Come out and try to get some damage on the Willbender, but I get hit pretty hard, so I just pop back in. And I am definitely like strong core tower hugging at this point. But 3v1, and these guys have been BMing me and being super salty, so I don't really care. I kind of hop out. I do want to try to get some kills here, utilizing the tower to my advantage. Right now it's just 2v1 again. The third guy left, so I go after the Willbender here. He tries to kite away towards his ally here. I'm able to get a good Greatsword 2 off, full counter the Reburst, and go into a Shield 5 to block the Berserker's F1 attacks. I get interrupted by Bull's Charge here, so I have to use my Endure Pain. And then I get some decent Condi damage put on me, so I kite away a little bit towards my tower. I'm not super worried still because he's not getting too much Condi damage on me, but I get CC'd pretty hard here and barely get back to the tower away from those bleeds. So I just wait out the bleeds again, wait for some cooldowns before I pop back out. I mount up and I decide to go after the Berserker here, get him in combat, and then I dismount the Willbender. I use my heal right away to get rid of that initial Condi burst, and then I go into a shield 5, which blocks a decent amount of attacks from both the Berserker's F1s and the Willbender's F1s. Get off some decent CC and a good full counter here. Come back towards my portal because I can tell that the Willbender's getting ready for his counter burst. Come back out, pop my elite for some might, extra damage, and then endure pain. Try to full counter the F1 from the Willbender here, but it gets triggered by the Berserker instead. Able to get some decent damage off the Willbender and a good pull into an Arcing Slice. He's fairly low at this point. I get a good Bull's Charge with Greatsword 2, which actually is able to down him. I use a full counter to get a good CC off him from the Berserker's F1. And I kind of let him come in for the res here. I'm hoping I'll be able to stop him. I get a good interrupt off with Dagger 3 and a good Dagger F1. I go into a nice little burst there with the CC, swap to Greatsword, and a full counter to get rid of Condes and interrupt the res, self-res on the Willbender here. And I'm not really going for the stomp here because I don't have stab. I don't want to get CC locked. So I'm really just focusing on trying to cleave out a little bit while getting some decent damage on the Berserker as well here. I get CC'd here into the fire field, but I'm able to remove the Condes with my heal, and I just keep cleaving the down, trying to get that Berserker in a spot where I can lock him down. I have my stab, so I go for the stomp on the Willbender, get another good Dagger 3 and shield 4 onto the Berserker, but I don't really have anything to follow up with damage-wise, and then a Ranger shows up, so I kind of have to kite back inside so I don't die. I come back out and I try to interrupt the stomp on the res on the Soul Beast here. Get a good F1 on the Berserker by accident and pull him. Go after the Soul Beast a little more here. He kind of seems like dazed, not really sure what's going on. I evade his traps and his elite burst there, which is really good for me. That probably would have messed me up pretty good. I'm still getting a decent amount of Conde on me from the Berserker, so I'm pulling back a little bit as I see that the Willbender is also rejoining the fight. Just kind of bouncing around here. They're not able to really hit me. And we have a Scrapper that came as well here, so I jump back into the tower for a second to wait for cooldowns. Just kind of chilling here again, just waiting for those cooldowns. I really want the balance state back before I come back out, get my heal off, and then I decided to go after the Scrapper first because he seemed like he was power, might be a little tanky. Get a decent block on his gyros and the Berserker's F1 there. Hop back in just because I have some burn on me, and I can, right? This fight is going to be paced by me. Hop out, hop back in, get them to waste some cooldowns. Got all three right here: the Willbender, Scrapper, and the Berserker. They're all going to have a decent amount of CC as well as DPS, so I got to be careful of that, as well as the Soul Beast that's just kind of hanging out near the back. Decided to go after the Willbender again, as he's the one that's like most present up front, and then at this point a Deadeye has also showed up. So now I've got the Deadeye, the Willbender, the Soul Beast, the Scrapper, and the Conde Berserker. So I really have to play careful and hug this portal as tight as I can, because if I get a single CC chain on me, I'm pretty much dead. Thankfully, they're getting a little bored looking. I managed to dodge the Scrapper's toolkit pull there. That would have messed me up pretty good. And it looks like he has swapped to Hollowsmith here. And another Willbender also shows up. So now I got those two Willbenders, the Scrapper who swapped to Hollowsmith, the Berserker, the Soul Beast, and going to play this a little carefully. Go after this new Willbender that showed up. I get pulled by the Hollow here, but I'm able to evade his burst immediately afterwards, and I jump back into the portal as the rest converge. I can see that they're building a catapult over there, so I want to keep an eye on that, because if they start getting this wall down, I'm going to have to find a new strategy from hugging this portal. Get the Hollowsmith pretty low, and I'm almost able to down him, but both Willbenders come back in, and that's just too much damage for me to handle, so I have to kite back in. At this point, I have an ally show up, so I'm able to push a little harder. I try to assist him out with pulls as much as I can, getting people off him as he's getting pressured pretty hard here. I get off some decent damage on this Willbender, but the secondary Willbender starts targeting me, so I shift my target to him. Try to CC him here, but his stab saves him out here a little bit, and they all just kind of focused on my ally here. I can't really push out that far into this group of 5 or 6 now, but I try to put some CC and some damage on them as my ally gets down, hoping maybe I can get him a rally, but he goes down, loses his down HP too fast, and I'm getting a little too much pressure on me, so I try to pull and peel 2 off towards the portal. At this point, I noticed the back wall is open, and now there is a green as well inside my tower. He kind of sees what's going on, so he leaves me alone because he sees I'm already kind of like 6v1 and over here. So I appreciate him not also jumping on the bandwagon against me. And thankfully, these reds are so hyper fixated on me they don't even notice that the back wall is open. So they just obsess over chasing me here and don't even go around to the back wall. I decided to peel away here because if the tower's open, I don't want myself to get cornered in there. I'm trying to hopefully peel a couple of them off because now that they got the catapult being built on the tower, hopefully they have some investment built in there. I'm able to get the Hollowsmith to peel, get off a good Bull's Charge into Greatsword 2, Arcane Slice, and able to down him, and get off a clean stomp with Balanced State. The Woodbender was coming, he was going to help the Scrapper or the Hollowsmith, but when he saw that he was getting stomped, he just kind of said, "Oh, you're on your own, dude, I'm not going into that mess," and runs back to his group for safety. I decided to go after the Soul Beast, who is on the catapult here. I'm able to get off a mostly full Greatsword 2 before he's getting off, get into a Bull's Charge, Greatsword F1, and swap into a Shield 5. I'm starting to get pressure pretty good here by the Willbenders and the Soul Beast himself, so I pop my Endure Pain, and I try to use my heal, get interrupted, use my full counter to gain some stability, and pop back into my tower. Thankfully, they still haven't noticed that the back wall is down somehow, but that's really to my advantage at this point. So I come around through the broken wall, hopefully they don't notice me doing that, but it'll give me a little bit of a surprise advantage if I come around the angle over here. I think they're still up by the gate, but they've moved back towards their catapult. My ally is back over here at this point in time, so I'm going to let him deal with that Willbender while I try to go after the Soul Beast here again. Get off a really good Bull's Charge into a Greatsword 2, but he uses his stability and is able to move away. I'm getting pressured by the one Willbender over here, and then I make the mistake of kind of moving away from the Soul Beast, which gives him an advantage. I noticed that my ally's got the Berserker kind of low. I try to go into him, do some damage, but he pops his Endure Pain. I immediately get pressured by the Willbenders here. And I notice at this point the Deadeye is also back, so I kite back into my tower, pop off my heal, and decide to try circling around again for a little bit of that surprise advantage here. At this point, the Deadeye has actually come around, and he notices that the tower is open, so I've got to watch out for him now, because I noticed he saw that. So I actually come back over to the portal here, and I'm hoping that when I go back inside, if it's just him on the inside, I'll actually be able to get a decent fight against him. There's one more red that's inside, and the Deadeye does come around, so I start going after him, get off some decent CC. He does his Shadow Step away, and Magebane only pulls him like 1/4 of the way to me for some reason. So I use my full counter to get rid of his stealth attack, and decide to try and kite away over here as the other wall is almost down now. I was kind of hoping that one or two would peel after me here, but it doesn't really seem like anybody does, so I kind of play around here for a little bit, hoping to draw this Willbender out, but he's really sticking tight to his group. So I come back around and decide to go once again after the Soul Beast on the catapult, but right when I go over there, the wall goes down, and now I know they're going to pressure me really hard and go all in, as they know I don't really have anywhere to hide. Try to create some space going back through the tunnel over here, blow a good bit of cooldowns, try to get away from a Willbender and a Thief, which is really not the best idea on my part. Get CC'd pretty hard by the Willbender while I'm just getting free casted on by the Deadeye. I can't really swap focus to the Deadeye though, because the second I do that, the Willbender will just be free casting on me with AoE. So I try to create some line of sight here around the cliff, but I get killed before I do. And of course, the obligatory BM from both of them. Very good job there. They were very outnumbered and at a clear disadvantage in this fight, what with their builds versus mine. And overall, I think they did really well. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you want to see more commentary videos like this, just let me know.